This is basically a review for Morpho. So as you might know, or I'm not pretty sure whether you know it or not, Morpho is a simple vault related protocol where you can just borrow and provide liquidity. And uh, I was just inspired from a lot of people that were building content on top of Morpho. So here's a quick uh, video on my understandings towards Morpho. So let's start with the secret sauce of how we can create a market autonomous, like it's like permissionless. So let's start with, so the core function here is create market, which takes market params, right? And market params is just a struct which is consisting of some details regarding the loan token and collateral token. Apart from that, it also have oracle and IRM and LLTV. LLTV is basically loan to liquidation, loan to value, and IRM is interest rate model. And that's just it. And basically, how does it work, right? So Morpho is taking a unique approach of creating uh, the market ID from the details, right? From all the details that we just saw. How, and it just create a hash of all the market params alongside the market param bytes length, right? So that's how the ID of a market is generated, and then it just checks some of the nitty-gritty checks, and it checks uh, also not just checks, but it actually uh, updates the timing. It will be useful in the later stages of the code review, that this value of last update will be used to check whether the contract exists or not, right? So that's one thing. And ID to market params is an ID to market details, right? So uh, you can like it just basically save uh, the details of all the market parameter that the user provided, and we can just cross reference it by providing an ID, and it can just share it us the details of the market, right? And then it just initialize uh, the IRM model or IRM contract with our market, right? So this is how you can create market. uh, Apart from that, there are like functions like supply, where you are actually supplying the not the collateral, but the tokens in the vault itself, and you can earn some yield on top of it, because it has the shared assets to share and vice versa. So whenever the protocol is accruing interest, the value of your tokens or the value of your shares will increase uh, accordingly, right? So uh, it just fetches market ID from the given data that you have provided in the struct format for market params. Apart from that, it takes it shares or assets. We'll see how like you need to actually provide either of those, and on behalf of is basically something that that you'll get to see later on this, but you can just assume that this is just yourself, and it's a call data, right? So it does some checks whether like the address is not zero and all, and it accrues interest before moving forward, because we need to understand what is the current market value of certain like shares before actually issuing uh, the supply shares, right? So we just secure interest. So basically we have the updated value of what supply shares, what is the actual value of the supply shares, right? So in these two if and else statement, basically we just I want either of assets, or we just want shares. So it gives the Morpho protocol allows the users to actually either provide assets like or shares. Like what I mean by that is that either they can like provide the value for shares and we'll compute how much share we need to issue, or the other way around would be like they can specify how much shares they want to mint, and we'll calculate how many assets they have to provide in order to mint those respected shares, right? So that's just it, and based on that we'll just mint the supply shares. So position here is a struct which represents a user position, right? So it has supply shares, borrow shares, and collateral of the user, and we are referencing it by the ID of the market, right? And moving ahead, we just add the total supplies details, like how many assets that the user has provided and how many of the shares we have minted. And if the user have provided any data, we'll just it works basically as a hook where we are just calling the address of the user, and with the like on the this particular function signature, right? So and that's just it. And moving ahead, we have a withdraw function. So like Morpho basically follows the same check here, or the only unique thing between the supply and the withdraw is that you need to be an authorized user for requesting the withdraw, which is self-understood, right? And the next line is same as we discussed previously, that we are accruing the interest, and we need to provide either of this either assets or the shares, and we are just updating the fields here, and that's just it regarding withdraw. And here's the borrow function. So everything is already discussed, and now we are like adding the users. So position, of course, as I mentioned earlier, is the position of the user, not the market or anyone. It represents the user's position for a related market, and we just increase the user's position, and we also increase the market's total borrow shares and total borrow assets respectively. And here this is the important bit where we calculate whether the position of the user is healthy or not, right? So let me just browse it. So when we call is healthy, basically it checks whether this condition is true, which is not, because we have updated here the borrow shares, right? So it's not so it's going to move forward into the is healthy function, where we are calculating how much shares. Basically we are trying to convert the shares to the assets, right? So in borrowed we are converting the assets count, like how much assets the user has borrowed, and then we are basically using the LLTV in regards to how much collateral the user has provided, the collateral price, and we are just rounding down and like using an LLTV. So how much is the max the user can borrow, and we are looking into whether the position is healthy or not, right? So based on that, we either allow the user to borrow or deny, and that's just similar how it works in repay, right? So this is a quick intro to Morpho. I hope you liked it. Thank you.